तो बहुत समय के बाद बहुत बहुत स्वागत है तुम लोगों का द एसएम शो पर। और पीजे बादल वगैरह के जब एक बात तुम लोगों से करनी है कि जब पीजे या बादल या मतलब कॉमिक वर्स वगैरह के साथ जब मैं पॉडकास्ट करता हूँ तब तो तुम लोग मतलब बहुत सही रिस्पॉन्स देते हो कि मतलब ये है वो है, ऐसी बातें हैं, इस पॉइंट पे ये बात हुई है। स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस के टाइम पे तुमको क्या हो जाता है यार? मतलब इतने बढ़िया बढ़िया स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस के पॉडकास्ट में तुम लोगों के लिए लेकर आता हूँ, पॉडकास्ट में उन लोगों को बुला के उनकी पूरी कहानियां सुनाता हूँ, और तुम लोग मतलब ऐसा कि मतलब नील बटे सन्नाटा रिस्पॉन्स क्यों? क्यों? मेरे भाई कमेंट में जाओ और कमेंट में कमेंट करके बताओ कि कैसा लग रहा है, क्योंकि ये स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस तुम्हें और कहीं नहीं देखने को मिलेंगे इनके शोज के अलावा। ये तुम्हें सिर्फ इधर ही देखने को मिलेंगे, द एसएम शो पर। तो चलिए स्वागत करते हैं एक ऐसे कॉमेडियन का जो भाई जिनको आदत है मतलब लोगों के दांतों के साथ खिलवाड़ करने की, और पहले ये दांत जो है वो खराब किया करते थे, आजकल तोड़ने भी लगे हैं शायद। तो ज्यादा देर ना करते हुए बुलाते हैं बहुत समय के बाद शंकर भाई को, शंकर चुगानी। और शंकर भाई बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका द एसएम शो पर। और कैसे हो?
बस क्या, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर हैविंग मी। बस संडे का दिन, एक दिन आज मैं छुट्टी मना रहा हूँ तो
सही सही सही। बहुत रैंडम है भाई, ये पॉडकास्ट भी बहुत रैंडम होते हैं। मतलब मैंने जस्ट बोला कल कल कर सकते क्या, आज कर सकते क्या? भाई ने बोला अभी फ्री बैठो, आ रहा है क्या? मैं ठीक है चलो करते हैं। इसमें क्या है, चलो करते हैं। तो ब्रो सबसे पहली बात कि आपका स्टैंड अप जर्नी कैसे स्टार्ट हुआ? मतलब आप यू आर नॉट एन इंजीनियर राइट?
नो।
यू आर नॉट एन इंजीनियर। तो आपका स्टैंड अप जर्नी कैसे स्टार्ट हुआ? मतलब एज एन आर्ट फॉर्म स्टार्ट हुआ या फिर देख के लगा कि यार ये ज्यादा बढ़िया लग रहा है, मैं ये करूंगा?
मैं एक्चुअली बैंगलोर आया था 11-12 साल पहले। आई गॉट अ जॉब इन टेक सपोर्ट। तो आई वाज वर्किंग एंड आई वुड वर्क ऑन द वीकेंड्स जब काम ज्यादा नहीं होता था एंड गेट एक्सेस टू द इंटरनेट। आई वाज गूगलिंग अ लॉट ऑफ I would Google as anything that came to my mind, and I started Googling about stand up, and I read up as much as I could and saw so many comedians. Then I discovered that there is stand up comedy happening in India in a couple of places in Bombay and in. So I started writing down that I thought was funny, and about I think a year and a half later, I went for my first open mic, and
एंड
it
वेयर
was
वाज
in
दैट?
Bangalore. Sorry,
वो किधर था बैंगलोर में?
Bangalore में there was a place called Take 5. It's a venue in Indranagar जहाँ पे stand-up had happened for 8 years before it kind of shut down. My first open mic was there. It was incredible. I had a lot of fun. I got 4 minutes and I couldn't I couldn't be happier. I was so glad I went. I did stand up and I've learned to do this. And since then I've been going on stage almost every day. Yesterday I was in Vizag for a show with Kunal Rao. Yesterday I was there in Bangalore itself at Pluto's, which is in Indranagar. So now it's just trying to get up on stage every day.
सही सही। अच्छा, एक तो चीज होती है कि बंदा पहले ओपन माइक में जाता है, पहले ओपन माइक में अगर किल कर दिया तो सेकंड और थर्ड ओपन माइक के लिए कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है। तो आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ है कि सेकंड या थर्ड ओपन माइक में बॉम्ब हुए हो, या फिर फर्स्ट बॉम्ब कैसा था आपका?
बहुत मतलब जब शुरुआत हुई थी बहुत सारा टाइम बॉम्बिंग ही करता था मैं. There was no like, oh, this is going well. I used to bomb every day. हर रोज जाके स्टेज पे जाके try something will not work, again try something will not work, once in a while something will work, but then it took me about a year and a half to find out how to talk on stage. So I've had many bombs, big bombs and all have happened. बुरा लगता है, बहुत बुरा लगता है, लेकिन when you try and get up on stage the next day and you get a laugh, you feel okay, wow,
सही।
you feel you can survive.
यू कैन सर्वाइव। मतलब कैमरा के सामने आके, वो कैमरा के सामने सॉरी, माइक के सामने आके, ऑडियंस के सामने आके वो चीज जो है वो मिलती है। अच्छा, कई बार ऐसा होता है कि एक रूम में 3 या 4 बंदे होते हैं, चाहे शो हो चाहे ओपन माइक हो, ऑडियंस मेंबर इतने कम होते हैं, तब तब कभी ऐसा लगता है कि यार अगर एक बंदा भी नहीं हंसेगा तो पूरा रूम का जो वाइब है वो मतलब शट डाउन हो जाएगा, पूरा रूम का वाइब ऐसा हो जाएगा कि खराब सा हो जाएगा। कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि एक बंदे ने पूरा रूम डेड कर दिया?
बैंगलोर में पिछले 5-6 सालों से हम लोग स्टैंड अप, मतलब वी बीन डूइंग कॉमेडी इन बैंगलोर इन स्मॉल कैफेज पब्स, जहाँ पे 3 लोग 4 लोग 5 लोग इज द रेगुलर ऑडियंस. तो we've had horrible nights. So our main, when someone is not laughing, you want to try and make them laugh, but you're not going to stop everything and then cater to that person. Starting में होता था कि ये बंदा नहीं हंस रहा है, क्या हो रहा है क्या हो रहा है, but over time you just keep doing your act and you try and get them somehow. Some people don't want to laugh at your jokes. You can't be like, you better. They're not going to laugh. They're not going to laugh. There are so many other people laughing around them. So there have been venues जहाँ पे stand up announce नहीं हुआ है पूरे venue को, और सिर्फ एक सेक्शन में stand up हो रहा है. There are other people who've come there who don't know stand up is happening there, and there are maybe 8 to 10 people who are there just for stand up. तो उस टाइम मैं क्या करता हूँ, I go directly to the 8-10 people who are there for the comedy show and I perform directly for them. It's a little difficult when everybody is chaos, but once they start laughing, then you try and focus on whoever is giving you attention. If I try and focus on that, you try and somehow do as much as you can before the set is over.
There's a story about you getting a cafe as a venue, like you, Anand Ratnam and Somnath Padi. You all went to a cafe and there की आधे घंटे का शो हमको दे दो, कैफे वाले ने आपको बोला कि आधे घंटे का शो हमको दे दो, तो आप लोगों ने सबने परफॉर्म किया था. यू, आनंद भाई, सोमनाथ भाई एंड आमिर पिरान वाज देयर, आई गेस.
Cafe.
हाँ, हैंगआउट कैफे. हाँ, उसका क्या स्टोरी है?
लगभग 7 साल पहले बैंगलोर में सिर्फ 2 ओपन माइक थे हर हफ्ते. तो when Anand Ratnam, Somnath Padi, Jyotin Paro, when all these guys started doing stand up regularly, they started to look for other venues जहाँ पे stand up हम लोग कर सकें. तो एक बार I think it was Anand Ratnam and Somnath, like they searched a lot of places and eventually I was with them that night. I think we were walking on and we saw one cafe and we said, hey, we're stand up comics, can we try and do stand up every weekly here? And the owner said, like, if you can perform for us, we'll see. And then I think right away we looked at each other and we were like, all right, I'll go first, second, you go third. And we put together the show and it went decently well. And we did about 2.5 years. We did really good open mics and hangouts. It's a very fond memory I have of standing outside, hangout, having chai, waiting to go on stage, finish bombing, come out again, have chai. That's the scene a couple of years ago.
Why do you sound like Jyotin Patro?
Because we've seen, I'm telling you guys that you've spoken to Jyotin, and I don't know if you've spoken to Kelt as yet, but all of these are the local comics from Bangalore. We've done stand-up together for about 8 years now. I've done stand-up, I think, 8.5 years. These guys have done about 6.5, 7 years. So it's fun. There is nothing else to do. You just show up at a place, have chai, go to it, come out again, talk about who was bombing on stage. You're all like, what a horrible guy. I hate him. And then you continue doing that for everybody and we all go home. End of discussion.
सही. Like, मैंने एक गलती करी थी कुछ पॉडकास्ट पहले. मैंने ज्योतिन भाई, आनंद भाई और सोमनाथ भाई को तीनों को एक साथ बुलाया था और भाई साहब मुझे बोलने का मौका ही नहीं मिला. वो तीनों इतना ज्यादा आपस में बातें करते हैं और भाई मतलब मजा आ गया.
They started the comedy shot, no? Their name of the group, Comedy Shots, as they've been doing stand-up open mics in Bangalore, I think, right now for the longest time.
ये चीज मैंने डिस्कस करी थी और वो शायद उसी हैंगआउट कैफे के साथ स्टार्ट हुई थी कॉमेडी शॉट्स की. उन्होंने एक रूम, आप लोगों ने एक सोचा कि एक रूम स्टार्ट करते हैं ताकि सबको अच्छा अपना अपना स्पॉट बढ़िया मिले. अच्छा, यू हैव बीन ऑन कॉमिक्सटान और उससे पहले मतलब मैं एज एन ऑडियंस एक चीज जो मैंने नोटिस करी कि कॉमिक्सतान में देख रहा था, मैंने राहुल दुआ को देखा, मैंने निशांत सूरी को देखा, मैंने प्रशस्ति सिंह को देखा, मतलब इनमें से किसी के भी वीडियोस नहीं थे, बट यू वर द वन जिसके वीडियोस, और एक रूबिन भाई थे, रूबिन भाई सीजन 1 में थे, आप लोगों के वीडियोस थे, तो मेरे को देख के ऐसा लगा कि यार ये बंदा जजिंग में नहीं होना चाहिए था। तो हाउ कॉमिक्सतान हैपेंड, लाइक कॉमिक्सतान में किस तरह से आपको मतलब ये चीज है कि कई कई लोग ये सोचते हैं कि यार हमने तो इस बंदे को इधर देखा है, तो कॉमिक्सतान पे लोगों ने जब आपको देखा तो कैसा रिएक्शन मिला?
पहली बात तो मेरे वीडियोस नहीं थे ऑनलाइन कॉमिक्सतान से पहले। मेरा एक वीडियो था जो लगभग आई थिंक अबाउट 2500 व्यूज और 3000 व्यूज इट गॉटन, एंड आई डिलीटेड दैट वीडियो।
पता नहीं, मैंने पर कॉमिक्सतान
ओनली
से
थिंग इज
पहले
आई
आपको देखा था, या मैंने कॉमिक्सतान लेट देखा है, ये भी हो सकता है। ये भी हो
थैंक्स
सकता है।
मैन। तो सो कॉमिक्सतान वाज शॉट इन 2017।
अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ हाँ, फिर
It
ठीक है।
got released in 2018.
हम्म
So in 2019, I released 2 videos on YouTube because Comicstaan mein people had started watching, and then a few people started following me. But anytime if I get any work, if anybody wants to hire me, my manager had to tell them go watch Comicstaan Amazon Prime पे. तो he said मैं यार इस लोग नहीं करने वाले, तो upload 2-3 videos on YouTube. So if someone asks, I can send you a link right away. So that's why I uploaded 2 videos, and I haven't uploaded any videos since then. I just want to keep doing stand-up live as much as I can.
अच्छा, एक चीज अभी यहाँ पर वीडियोस की बात आई है, सो मेनी पीपल हैव दिस इन माइंड कि कॉमिक्स जो है उनके लिए यूट्यूब क्या चीज, मतलब एक यूट्यूबर के लिए यूट्यूब तो मतलब उसका वर्क स्पेस है, व्हाट इज यूट्यूब फॉर कॉमिक्स? भाई यू आर फ्रोजन।
Sorry, it got cut. You asking what is YouTube for a stand-up comic?
हाँ, व्हाट इज यूट्यूब फॉर अ स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियन? लाइक यूट्यूबर्स के लिए तो उनका पूरा वर्क स्पेस है, रोटी कपड़ा मकान, स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस के लिए क्या है?
Well, stand-up comedians के लिए it's one of the best spaces to get more audience. That's about it. I think every comedian who puts out, if they do vlogging, if they do series, if they do streaming, that's all again. But if you're only doing stand-up, then stand-up will allow, if you put your work on YouTube, you get more and more audiences to follow you in every city, and then you get to perform more on stage and get a bigger response. I think that's the whole idea. So for me, because I happened to be on the first season of Comicstaan and I gathered a small crowd, I right now don't wish to put out videos on YouTube. I just want to be up on stage live, because I performed in Bangalore in October, and I filled up 30 seats in every cafe in a weekend, the whole month of October, and I was so happy that I was getting a small crowd that comes to watch me live. And I don't want to perform for a bigger crowd. I just want to perform for the people who are interested in what I have to say. So I went to Vizag 2 days ago. There were about 75 people there for Kunal Rao and myself, and it was a great time on stage. I went to Kunur the previous weekend. I performed for 60 people, 30 people on each day on a weekend, and I was again very happy. If I can get up on stage as often as I can, then I'm just happy doing stand-up.
सही 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 सही। स्टैंड अप के अलावा कुछ आपने कोई सीरीज या कुछ ऐसा लिखने का राइटिंग वर्क ट्राई की कि कोई स्किट वगैरह? नहीं। अच्छा, एक चीज आपकी डांसिंग के बारे में बात करें। लाइक एक इंटरव्यू है, रेडियो कोई रेडियो स्टेशन था, वहां पर मतलब आपको प्रॉपर नचाया गया, तो
As
उसके
in,
बारे में मतलब प्रॉपर, मतलब एकदम डांस स्टेप्स वगैरह पूरा परफॉर्मेंस करवाया गया कि टेरेंस गीता और मतलब रेमो बैठे हुए हैं वहां पे, तो उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताओ,
मैं
व्हाट्स योर?
स्कूल में और कॉलेज में मैं डांस बहुत ज्यादा करता था। स्कूल में again it was a boys school, or because my height is very less, I would get picked up as one of the dancers who has to dance as a girl for the longest time. Till college mein, I was like, I can dance by myself. So I started dancing solo, and I used to go to different dance competitions. And college जाके solo dance, adapt dance, practice करके कभी-कभी group dance. So I've had a long in dance. I wanted actually I wanted to grow up and become a choreographer.
तो
मुझे लगा था
कोरियोग्राफी,
कि मैं
हाँ
वही मर्चेंट के साथ काम करूंगा, कोरियोग्राफर बनूंगा, स्टेप सिखाऊंगा, 1 2 3 4 करूंगा. बट once I discovered stand up, everything, I forgot everything. I was like,
so after that, have you met Vaibhavi Merchant or any other big choreographer? नहीं.
There's a guy called Ponnambalan who is a dancer in the Tamil film industry and a choreographer and a big name. We were, I would say, in college. During he was a dancer from his college. I was a dancer from my college. He would do incredible stunts, and I would just do whatever I can do, couple of stunts. So he was, I think he came in one of the DIDs. He became a choreographer with, I think, Rajiv. I think that's the name of the choreographer. And then he just kept becoming bigger. So I know him, and I know a couple of dancers who dance outside of Bollywood. But I have never really met like a celebrity dancer or a choreographer.
Nice. अच्छा, have you performed out of India? कभी ऐसा परफॉर्म करने का मौका मिला है इंडिया के बाहर?
नहीं, एक ही बार यूएस, मतलब I had gone for a cousin's wedding and Jamaica में हुआ था wedding, तो I flew into Jamaica and flew back. और जमैका में उन शादी में एक बार stand up किया था, पर mic was not working well, तो many people couldn't get my jokes. तो उसके बाद अगले दिन जहाँ पे हम रहे थे, वहाँ पे एक छोटा सा जकूजी है, जहाँ पे there were white people and all of them were sitting in jacuzzi. वहाँ जो फोटोग्राफर, शादी का फोटोग्राफर, उसने मुझे देख के बोला, तेरे इतने सारे फॉलोअर्स कैसे इंस्टाग्राम पे? तो मैंने कहा मैं स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी करता हूँ इंडिया में. Then they started asking and I started telling them about their comedians who I follow, Bill Burr and Louis C.K. and all of them. And then I started telling them a couple of jokes and they laughed at a couple of jokes. तो जमैका में एक जकूजी में मैंने 10 मिनट का सेट किया है, पर other than that इंटरनेशनली अभी तक कुछ नहीं किया.
सही. अच्छा, वहां के लोगों को यहाँ के रेफरेंस वगैरह या यहाँ के चीजें समझ में आती हैं? एक इंग्लिश का एक कॉन्वर्सेशन है कि इंग्लिश जो इंडिया में हम बोलते हैं, बहुत इंडियनाइज्ड वर्जन है, हमारा अपना तरीका है बोलने का. और वो भी मतलब अगर दिल्ली वाला बंदा अलग बोलेगा, पंजाब वाला अलग बोलेगा, हरियाणा वाला अलग बोलेगा, बिहार वाला अलग बोलेगा, और साउथ में जितने भी स्टेट्स हैं उसमें सबके अलग अलग वर्जन्स चलते हैं इंग्लिश के. तो उधर उस चीज को कभी वो देखने को मिलता है कि ये जो डिफरेंस आ रहा है, इसका क्या रिएक्शन मिल रहा है?
वहां पे जमैका में तो नहीं, I didn't get to. When I speak to them the way I'm speaking right now. There isn't much. I generally, when I'm doing stand-up also, I'm not very much like, hey, so what, macha? But I don't do that. I do that once in a while. But generally, when I'm talking on stage, I speak like this. I speak the way I'm speaking to anyone. So there's a difference in accent and there's a difference in how we say a lot of things. But more generally, I just say this. So, थोड़ा मतलब इंडिया में if you're only performing in English, the edge of Hindi or regional languages you miss out for sure. क्योंकि most of the famous comedians in our country right now are mostly Hindi speaking comedians or other regional languages. So I don't know, it'll take a while before English stand-up comedy picks up like a lot more in India. But वहाँ पे उतना difference ज़्यादा दिखाई नहीं दिया. It was just they would speak and I would talk to them and it was all very chill.
आपकी मदर टंग क्या है, मतलब नेटिव लैंग्वेज क्या है? सिंधी.
हाँ.
अच्छा, तो have you done any set in Sindhi or any thing? नहीं. तो are you planning something?
No, I was asked a couple of times to do like stand up in Sindhi, but I can't. I laugh. I won't be able to do it on stage. It's a different thing. I can't really talk like that. So I was like, I can't do it. Leave it, bro. I can't, bro. If you look at the comedians that I look up to, you cannot like get up on stage and speak in a certain way because you'll feel a little bad yourself. You're like, kya kar raha hu? So I've decided mostly English, little bit of Hindi, and that's going to be my stand-up. That's it.
सही तो आपका जो स्टैंड अप में जो तरीका है जोक लिखने का, व्हाट्स योर जोक राइटिंग स्टाइल? मतलब आप पहले से प्रॉपर पूरा जोक लिख के पूरा तैयार करके फिर स्टेज पे जाते हो, या फिर पॉइंटर्स लेके जाते हो और फिर वहां पर ऑडियंस के हिसाब से चीजें चलती हैं?
I don't have a fixed method कि मैं ऐसे ही लिखता हूँ या there is a little bit of everything. You write and you think about what you want to say. Sometimes you go on stage and you're saying something and randomly something else comes out and that works even better. So you're all like, okay, wow, I can try that. And then it's a little bit of everything. I don't have a very concrete method.
Do you have a very weird backlash story की मतलब आपको समझ भी नहीं आया बट आपको बैकलैश मिल गया और फिर आपने सोचा हो कि यार ये तो मतलब फालतू में बंदा मेरे को बोल के चला गया? कभी ऐसा हुआ है?
ना समझे नहीं किस हिसाब से बैक
मतलब कि जोक पे किसी को कोई जोक समझ ना आया और फिर वो उस पे अलग ही रिएक्ट कर गया हो कि अलग ही एकदम जोक का मतलब कुछ और वो समझा कुछ और
लाइव ऑडियंस में?
हाँ, लाइव ऑडियंस
लाइव ऐसा weird reaction नहीं मिला है. Sometimes people will laugh at the wrong time and I'm just like, the joke is not coming. I'll wait 2 seconds, 2 more seconds, it's coming. Right?
On the way.
Don't jump. So, because that even throws off the flow. You're about to say something and someone starts laughing and you're like, I haven't said anything.
ये मेरा वाला नहीं है ये जो
once or twice that has happened. Sometimes people get a little offended, but you can't do anything. You just do your set and leave.
सही बहुत बढ़िया. कभी क्राउड वर्क करते वक्त कभी ऐसा हुआ है कि कोई किसी से बात कर रहे हो और मतलब एकदम ही ऑफ जवाब दे रहा है वो, मतलब आप कुछ बोल रहे हो वो एकदम ऑफ जा रहा है कि इसका जवाब ये, मतलब एकदम वो ज्यादा ओवर स्मार्ट बनने की कोशिश कर रहा है और फिर आपने उसकी अच्छे से मतलब खिंचाई करी हो कि भाई माइक मेरे हाथ में? हुआ कभी ऐसा?
मैं ऑडियंस से क्राउड वर्क करते समय ऐसे बात नहीं करूंगा. When I talk to them, I'll still be very polite. Even if they're giving weird answers, I'll try and still how I can make it funny. But if I'm doing my set and someone is heckling, then I will say whatever comes to my mind to shut them up and continue. Like, I don't hold back. When I'm on stage and I'm doing my joke and someone heckles me, I have said horrible shit to my friends who are in the crowd. I have said horrible shit, like just because I'm in the middle of like something and you're interrupting me. I'm like, always, the energy is always the same. I've done that for multiple shows. I did that in Vizag also once. There was one guy who was he was a little drunk and he was being a little too loud. So 3-4 times I had to say horrible things to him. So it's happened quite a lot. Over time, I don't get, like, initially as a, like, 2 years into comedy, when I say something and I make an audience member quiet, I feel very happy. But now I just get annoyed that, like, you wasted 45 seconds of our time. I was just telling you jokes. Why did you make it awkward for everybody? If someone doesn't like at your home, talking to me is not going to solve your problem. Just relax, laugh at the jokes. If you don't find anything funny, sit down there like a statue and we'll all go home at the end of it. So that is, now I'm more relaxed. I'm like, I don't want to like tell anybody, shut, chup. I don't want that. I'm just like, let's listen to our jokes, go home. Way more relaxed now.
अच्छा, क्राउड में कोई डिफरेंस देखा आपने जगह जगह के कि इस जगह का क्राउड जो है वो पर्टिकुलर तरह के जोक्स पे ज्यादा वो होता है, या फिर एक पर्टिकुलर जगह का क्राउड गालियों पे ज्यादा हंस रहा है? तो ऐसा कुछ डिफरेंस महसूस हुआ है कभी?
I think Bangalore में there isn't enough Hindi for people to come in with the mindset ke, like, how comics are going to be in Hindi. Bombay mein and Delhi mein there is enough Hindi comics that audience comes in larger numbers for Hindi for Hindi mediums or Hindi speaking comics. Bangalore mein, if you after a certain point, if you say gali and you try and get a laugh, if you're performing for your own crowd, they'll laugh at they'll be because it's your own crowd. But if you're doing a lineup show and there are many people in the audience, then when you say a gali, people audience members are not going to laugh. They're just going to be like, okay, where's the joke? What are you saying? That happens more often than not in Bangalore than in other cities. I'm saying that is specifically because Bangalore doesn't have like a Hindi language that people speak in general. People speak all languages in the city. We speak Kannada, Telugu, Hindi, Malayalam, English. You can speak to many people in the city with so many languages. In Bombay, the same thing happens with Punjabi and Gujarati and all of that. But the common language in Bangalore for the most crowd and office going people and people for comedy shows is English. So that way, like I can't keep swearing in English for the joke, and people will not be like, hey, they won't do it. So that is the one difference that is there between Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore, and maybe even Hyderabad, even in Vizag. So any place where Hindi is predominantly like a big deal, there's a difference in how easily are you accepted. But even then, I think I've had great shows in Delhi. I've had really good shows in Bombay. So it depends on each crowd. Each crowd is different. Sometimes you can have like a great show in Delhi and in Bombay, and you'll come back to Bangalore and you're all like, yay, I had a great show. And you come back and you have a horrible, you bomb straight for half an hour for Bangalore people, and like, this is my city. I do stand up here. Why is this not working? It worked yesterday in car. It worked. Why is it not working right now? So it's up and down. It's going up and down.
सही. अच्छा, कॉमेडी के अलावा आप की और क्या क्या चीजें ऐसी है जो करना पसंद है, मतलब कोई स्पोर्ट है या कुछ है, ऐसी कोई चीज है?
मैं फीफा बहुत ज्यादा खेलता हूँ, चाय बहुत ज्यादा पीता हूँ, and Kunur is my hometown, and I just like going to a place that has like a nice outdoor area where you can hang out and look at the clouds and the sky and the stars. These are mostly the things that I enjoy. Other than that, I don't really enjoy anything as much. Whenever there's a new comedian, I get more excited about the new comedian. I'm all like, wow, this is great. Like a special comes out and it's really good, I feel happy about that. I like football. I watch a little bit of football. But for the most part, getting up on stage is my favorite thing to do. And everything else around my day is pointed towards the 1 hour that I get up on stage.
अच्छा, one thing I would like to talk about, एक चीज है कि स्पेशल स्टैंड अप स्पेशल, एक पूरा 1 आवर का पूरा एक शो जो है वो स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस जो है वो डालते हैं, चाहे अमेज़न हो, नेटफ्लिक्स हो, कहीं कहीं भी, ठीक है, तो ये चीज डालते हैं. बट देयर इज अ कॉमेडियन इन हैदराबाद, विवेक मुरलीधरन, who put his like special, मतलब उनके हिसाब से वो उनका स्पेशल है इंडिया जूस. तो वो उन्होंने पूरा का पूरा 40 मिनट का अपना शो जो है वो उस पे डाला है, यूट्यूब पे डाला है. सो व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स ऑन दिस थिंग कि मतलब एक कॉमेडियन जो है वो अपना पूरा का पूरा एक सेट जो है, अपना पूरा का पूरा एक मटेरियल, 1 घंटे का मटेरियल जो है वो डाल रहे हैं वहां पे. और मेरे को पर्सनली वैसे वो चीज बहुत एक तरीके से कॉमेडियन की नजर से देखो तो यार पैसा इस चीज के लिए बहुत अच्छा मिल सकता था, बट यूट्यूब पे डाल दिया. बट एक ऑडियंस की नजर से अबे यार 1 घंटे मतलब किसी का 40 मिनट का पूरा सेट देखने को मिला है, मतलब वो भी फ्री में, तो मजा आ गया. मतलब तो इस चीज को आप लोग कैसे देखते हो?
Vivek Murugadan ne ye, I think he did it last year. I think lesser than, I don't think he did last year. But Kenny Sebastian did this maybe 5 years ago. He put out a first 1 hour special on YouTube fully, a full 1 hour special. He shot it at Alliance Francaise in Bangalore and he put it out. And I think it takes a lot of guts to put out a whole hour of work. And I think as each comedian wants to get done with whatever set they're saying, and they want to write new jokes. They just put out a 1 hour special. I think it's great for Vivek if he gets a crowd and they follow him watching his 1 hour and he gets a loyal following. Then that's a great thing to put out a body of work and get more people to come and watch you live. That's the whole idea. You go, if you have your special on a platform, yes, you make a lot of money and that's a great deal. But it takes a lot of courage to put out the whole work, whether it's on a platform or whether it's on your own channel. I just think it takes a lot of guts. That's all. I don't have anything else to say to this, because as I told you, I am not yet thinking of really releasing like small videos itself. I just enjoy getting up on stage so much, telling jokes, that I just want to keep doing this. I don't have a date in the future when I want to release or record videos. As long as I keep getting my crowd that comes to watch me, I want to keep getting up on stage. I think I'm repeating that a little too many times, no? Today. Like every question you ask, Kamal, stage pe chadna acha lagta hai. That's all. All your comments will be like, समझ में आ गया, तेरे को स्टेज पे चढ़ना अच्छा लगता है, और भी कुछ बोल, और क्या पसंद है तेरे को, स्टैंड कॉमेडी, अबे और भी कोई बात करना.
हाँ ठीक है, बट जोक राइटिंग के लिए मुझे स्टेज पे तो करना ही पड़ेगा ना ब्रो.
Nothing gets me more excited. I'm telling you, I watched Ronnie Chang's special today and it was incredible. He's shot it really, really well. Now, and tell me.
I think we should be doing this not on Zoom but on stage. This would do a more justice to the interview.
No, but who will come? Who will pay money to come and watch both of us talk about stand-up? What are they getting out of it?
इसके बारे में भी थोड़ा बात करते हैं ना, कि जैसे अभी स्टैंड अप के लिए लोग देखने आ रहे हैं. एक टाइम था जब जैसे राजू श्रीवास्तव की कैसेट्स आती थी, और मतलब जितने भी कॉमेडियंस थे इंडिया में उनकी कैसेट्स आती थी. कुछ दूरदर्शन पर वो क्लिप्स वगैरह बनते थे, वो शोज बनते थे छोटे छोटे, ठीक है, जिसमें वो लोग अपना कुछ मटेरियल करते थे. एंड नाउ द स्टैंड अप कॉमेडियंस आर सेलिंग टिकट्स फॉर देयर शोज. और मतलब एक बार अगर कोई बंदा देख ले और उसको मतलब एक अच्छा शो मिल जाए तो मजा आ जाता है उसको, फिर वो बार बार जाता है देखने. जैसे मैं हो गया हूँ अभी एडिक्ट, क्योंकि मेरे घर के पास ही है और फिर मेरे को बड़ा आसान है कि टिकट खरीदो, जाओ, देख के आओ, बढ़िया मजा आता है. तो ये चीज क्या कभी मतलब ऐसा पॉडकास्ट वगैरह के बारे में कभी ऐसे इमेजिन करें कि कभी होगी, दो लोग बात कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि जैसे लाइव ऑडियंस इंटरव्यू होता है वैसे ऑडियंस के साथ कोई पॉडकास्ट रिकॉर्ड कर रहे हैं एंड देन उसके बाद उसको रिलीज कर रहे हैं और उसको भी मतलब कमर्शियलाइज कर रहे हैं.
क्यों नहीं होता? जरूर हो सकता है. It depends on what the audience is willing to watch live. Now there are live shows for like not stand-up. There are comedy shows, there are game shows, there are other entertainment variety shows that people watch live. So if a comedian or some celebrity becomes so in tune with this crowd that he wants to release a question answer with the crowd, I think if it's interesting enough, you can have a YouTube channel and just have that. There are episodes of some really big comedians doing a question answer with the crowd or doing a podcast, a live podcast. Silva has a live podcast show that you have some clips on YouTube where he talks sitting on his couch. It can happen for sure. But how soon it'll happen, where it'll start, how will it, all that, no idea. Just, मुझे स्टेज पे चढ़ना ही अच्छा लगता है.
घूम फिर के हम वही आएंगे. अच्छा,
I think I'll send you a clip of me saying I like to get up stage. Just play that after every question you ask and we'll save both of us a lot of time. Sorry, go on.
सही. अच्छा, you have 2 videos on YouTube जो अभी recently 2019 में आपने वो पब्लिश करी, जिनमें से एक के बारे में यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट योर ब्रदर. सो वो तो सेट के बारे में, वो तो स्टैंड अप का सेट. बट व्हाट बॉन्ड डू यू शेयर विद योर ब्रदर, योर एल्डर ब्रदर? मतलब कैसा रिलेशनशिप है आप दोनों का? एज अ ब्रदर आप लोग भाई जैसे ट्रीट करते हो एक दूसरे को कि बड़ा भाई छोटा भाई, रिस्पेक्ट और मतलब मेजर डिस्टेंस रिलेटेड, या फिर एक फ्रेंड की तरह ट्रीट होता है?
सेकंड, सॉरी, भाई का ही मैसेज था। तो माय
ये
तो
मतलब भाई देखो, पक्का सच में भाई का मैसेज था ना? क्योंकि मैं ये काट नहीं रहा हूँ, मैं ये डाल रहा
नहीं,
हूँ।
तो भाई पूछ रहा था if he wants to play FIFA in the night. तो me and my brother we stay nearby to each other, and हम लोग मतलब अभी पिछले 15 साल से हम लोग फीफा साथ में we've been playing. जब से फीफा 1999 आया था all the way now till FIFA 20, we've bought games at every stage and we've played. So I have a really friendly relationship with my brother. He's busy with his work as he's a manager in a company, and he's got his own work life, and he's married. And every almost like once in 3 days or 4 days, when I'm not traveling or in another city, I'll go home over to his house and we'll play FIFA and we'll talk and we'll chill, and he'll say something and I'll laugh, and he'll say, right, put it in your set, but pay me money. Jokes like this and all will happen back and forth. He'll say, my kid is going to beat you in FIFA one day, and all of that. Just a lot of jokes keep happening. So it's a very friendly vibe. There's no like, oh, big brother. Although I have respect for him because he's my elder brother, but for the most part, we hang out and we talk, and he's got his own life. I've got my own stand-up going on.
So, what was his reaction, or what was his views on you starting up with stand-up comedy and leaving dance?
When I came to Bangalore itself, I had left dance because I started working and I didn't have the time to continue dancing. So for the first 2 years or so, he was wondering what am I doing every evening, because I didn't tell him I'm going to do stand up. I was like, yeah, I'm going to a couple of bars and chilling and going to a few cafes. And then I started stand up a little more seriously. I remember the very first Bangalore Comedy Festival. I happened to be a part of the show and I happened to be on stage, and I did 15 minutes and it worked really, really well. And my brother was in the crowd. So when I did really, really well, he told my parents that they should just leave me alone, and they should just like he told them Shankar is doing something that he knows, and I saw the response and I saw the comics that he was hanging out with. Just give him your good luck and let him go. So he supported me in front of the family, and uh, after that, his reaction has been very like supportive, and he's always like he watched Comicstaan, he watched the other show that I put on Amazon Prime, and he'll give me his feedback about what he thought about the set and what he thought about my fit and everything. So it's very nice. He's
It's very
more on
nice.
board now. Very, very supportive.
But you love to go on stage.
I think it's been 7 minutes. We haven't mentioned it once. मुझे
मुझे स्टेज पे
okay, I won't say.
ये थंबनेल होने वाला है, ये थंबनेल होने वाला है. I'll put this out. And
why do you think I went to Kunur? There's no like comedy scene happening in Kunur, but I went to Kunur to do stand up at a hostel because it's incredible if you can just like have a live audience of 30-40 people and you tell them jokes and you make them laugh. Then you just look at the sky and there are mountains behind you, and there's bonfire, and it was very nice. I'm so happy that I could do this in my own hometown as a stand-up comic. It felt incredible. So wherever I once performed on a bus on my way to Coorg. There was a gig where someone wanted a comedian to perform in Coorg and also perform for the guests on the way. And I thought I have to make money somehow. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. I did the show, went decently well. There's stories of like, yeah, I have done stand in some odd places, just whenever I get a chance.
So mention some odd places, some more odd places. Can you mention them?
So when
Are they
when the
let
second
me ask
lockdown,
this first. Are they mentionable?
yeah, yeah, but I have sense. I'm not gonna tell you some obscene, ridiculous shit for your podcast views. Hey, look what Shankar Chugani said. He performed stand. No, bro, I'm gonna tell you some decent shit. Can you? So in the lockdown, in the second lockdown, when it was just opening up, people were coming out, but there weren't enough like open mics happening. There would be one ticket, and then they wouldn't show up, and it would get cancelled. So it was a very tough time for, because I live on the outskirts of the city. So I would come into the city, there'll be a show that'll be cancelled, again I'll go back. And again I'll come into the city, and it happened for a couple of months. But there's nothing else that you can do. What you can't be mad at anybody. It's just something that you have to keep trudging till you get to a more safer place for stand-up. So during that time, I remember Kelt and I were standing at a chai shop, and about two people came up to me and they said, "We watched you on the show and we're big fans." And I said, "Okay," and they sat down. And then I told Kelt, "Man, it's raining. The show is cancelled. We're gonna go home. Do you wanna ask these people if they'll listen to our jokes, and we'll do like a set for them and then we leave?" So at a chai shop, right at a table where there are four people sitting, they move their table chairs in a way where they can see us. And Kelt and I stood in front of a table and did stand up for four people, like with like no roof on top. It's on the side of the road. It's just like a chai shop, and we just did our stand up set there. That is one. Uh, I used to handle latecomers at Jagriti, which is a theater that doesn't allow latecomers. Like, it's a strict policy. So if there's an interval and the people who are for the show late, if they're nice, I'll do like a 20-25 minute set for them. I won't tell them like, "Hey man, this is stand-up comedy." I'll just be like, "Hey," so start talking to them, make them laugh, and once it starts, you just keep going. So I've done stand-up there also. So we do stand-up as often as we can, and at the most odd but socially acceptable places that we can do stand-up.
But that was great, buddy. मतलब आपने चाय की दुकान पे मतलब सिर्फ this shows that you are doing stand up for the art form, not just for money. You are doing stand up for art form now. So
Bro, it's not just for, it's also for money. I'll tell you, I'll give you the logical understanding. If you see, if I were to move to Bombay, I'll be able to make more money. I'll be able to do everything else that I can do to support doing stand-up and become more popular, because there are more famous people there. And if you perform with a lot of famous people, you'll also get popular as you go. That is a great way. True. But if every comic in every city, once they become big, if they move to Bombay, then Bombay will become crowded and there won't be comics in other cities. Today, there's a retired Top Cat comedy club in Kolkata. There are some 7-8 comedy clubs in Delhi. There's a comedy club in Pune. There's a comedy club in Jaipur. There's a comedy club in Hyderabad and in Chennai. And places are just now coming up. So I believe there's scope for a lot more growth if comedians live in different cities doing stand-up professionally, so that people in those cities come for live shows more regularly. If I get up on stage and if I do well, then me making more money it's more probable that I'll make more money. If I get up on stage and I do badly, then the chances of people hiring me reduces. So a day when there is no open mic, if I don't get up on stage, I'm wasting that day. So if I see a live crowd, live like 4 or 5 people and willing to listen to my joke, that is an open mic for me that I'm doing to improve myself so that I can make more money. That is simple. Getting up on stage, between getting up on stage while getting paid or getting up on stage while not getting paid, I will definitely choose getting up on stage while getting paid. But between performing and not performing at all, I will choose performing, because not performing at all is not an answer. It's, you have to figure out a way where you can be satisfied with the commercials so you can perform. Because what if someone says, no, I'm not going to pay you to not get up on stage, you're not going to do a live 1 hour show, then if I don't, when you go to open mics, you don't get paid. You just go and do your set so you can practice your set. That's simple. So the same way with a place where people are watching you, if you get a chance to get up on stage, you should do it. You should not hesitate, because the more often you get up on stage, even if you're bad, the chances of you getting better and the chances of you doing a really good set goes up higher the more often you get up on stage. That's why I've been yelling about stage this entire podcast. It's not just for the gag. I'm genuinely saying this. Today I'm taking a day off because I was in
it's
Kunur
understood to all of them, to all the audience members, why you are kept repeating that stuff. So एक चीज फिर भाई ये बात आती है कि जो फर्स्ट लॉकडाउन था, जो मार्च से अप्रैल के लिए लगा था 21 डेज का, उसमें तो मतलब किसी को कोई जूम कॉमेडी वगैरह का कोई आइडिया ही नहीं था। तो उस समय आप सरवाइव कैसे किए और वो टाइम आपके लिए कैसा था?
मैं कुनूर में था, एंड लकीली जस्ट बिफोर द लॉकडाउन माय भाभी gave birth to a boy. So I was in Kunur with a lot of responsibilities to make sure the house is all taken care of, because now Bhabhi has a newborn, my mom has knee pain. तो अगर घर के काम में अगर मैं हाथ नहीं बटाऊंगा तो उनके ऊपर ज्यादा बर्डन हो जाएगा. एंड आई हैव बीन रेज्ड एज अ किड टू डू हाउस होल्ड वर्क. मुझे घर में तन धोना, कपड़े धोना, पोछा लगाना, सब बहुत बहुत मजा आता है. बहुत मतलब I started helping my parents in that, and
I'll say I don't enjoy it, but that's the reality. I also do all that stuff because
but it's great if you get to clean up your own place, and if you get to, like, I would wake up. If you wake up, I wake up every day in the lockdown. I wake up every day, take out the garbage, make chai for everybody so that they can start their day, which is already.
चाय का तो मतलब ऐसा है कि चाय का तो अब घर में मतलब सुबह उठने के बाद लोगों को लगता ही नहीं है कि उनको चाय बनानी पड़ेगी. मतलब माय सिस्टर्स ऑलवेज एंजॉय व्हेन दे कम होम. उन लोगों को वो एंजॉयमेंट उनका इसलिए होता है कि अब उनको चाय नहीं बनानी, दे कैन हैव देयर एक्स्ट्रा स्लीप एंड चाय विल बी प्रिपेयर्ड. तो वो सारी चीजें सॉर्टेड है और अच्छी चाय उनको मिलेगी. और
so
हाँ
my what I wanted to say is, मैं मतलब most of the work I like to help my mom and my bhabhi at home, so that whatever work is being done in 1 hour can get done in half an hour, 4 minutes, and then we can kind of relax. And there's a newborn in the house, so we have to be extra careful, and there were so many things, so I was busy with that. When that okay, I started doing a show called Char Log Hasenge, but there were only 4 tickets per show for Zoom, because I wanted to perform every day. So for every day, for 45 minutes, I would do like a stand-up set for 4 people, and it was great. I had such a nice time performing for just 4 people, because that's 4 people is enough for them to be big enough on your screen for you to perform and tell them jokes and see their reaction. And there's no other people waiting in like a window where you have to scroll and see their faces. So it was comfortable. I performed for 30 days straight in the first lockdown, 30 days straight in the second lockdown, and then 30 days straight in the third lockdown. So I'm really, really glad I got to do that, just to sustain and get up on stage as often as possible.
सही. Have you tour, मतलब आपने टूर किया है, इंडिया का टूर किया है पूरा इंडिया?
2 बार. I've gone to some 7 cities on 2 tours. I've gone to Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Chennai, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Vadodara, I think. So these are cities that I did twice. I went to. I think Vadodara was not there, but these are cities that I generally have been to twice. I am now going on a hill station tour.
कौन से hill station?
I started with Kunur. I'm soon going to be going down to Kotagiri, Coorg, Dharamshala, Manipal, Nainipal, Manali, all these
नेपाल
places.
में भी जाओगे?
Manali, if Nepal has a scene, I'll go to Nepal also.
सही सही सही. अच्छा, लॉट ऑफ पीपल डोंट नो बट नेपाल में भी मतलब लोग हिंदी तो मतलब समझते हैं और मतलब उस पे बढ़िया बढ़िया उनको सही बात करने में सही मजा आता है उधर. मैं गया हूँ एक बार नेपाल, मजा आता है उधर. गए हो आप कभी नेपाल वैसे घूमने के पर्पज से? नहीं? अरे जाओ,
No,
फॉरेन
no.
फॉरेन टूर भी हो जाएगा और मतलब मजा भी आ जाएगा. वो मस्त कंट्री है भाई, मस्त कंट्री, मस्त कंट्री है, बहुत बहुत खूबसूरत है. अच्छा, कॉमेडी और ये जो हमारे स्टेज पे चढ़ने वाली बातें हैं, इनके अलावा अगर हम देखें तो आपको किस चीज में टाइम इन्वेस्ट करना है कि अब अगर कभी ऐसा हुआ कि जैसे अभी कॉमेडी बूम पे है, बट व्हाट इफ कॉमेडी को लोग अब धीरे धीरे अगर करके देखना छोड़ें तो कि अब शोज में उतने बंदे नहीं आए. एंड मतलब मेरा डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन यही है कि मैं उसको घुमा के पूछ रहा था कि व्हाट इफ कॉमेडी इज डजंट एग्जिस्ट टुमारो, तो शंकर चौगानी का क्या प्लान रहेगा? बहुत
चाय
एक्सट्रीम
बेचेगा.
क्वेश्चन है. क्या?
चाय बेचूंगा.
और चॉकलेट मिलाओगे उसमें?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, सिर्फ चाय, नो चॉकलेट, जस्ट चाय.
सही सही. चाय के बाद का भी कोई प्लान है या फिर?
नहीं ब्रो, नहीं, सिर्फ चाय बेचूंगा और स्टैंड अप करूंगा बस. अगर कॉमेडी if I open a chai shop and people come to my chai shop, I'll do a stand up set for the people who come to my chai shop. Khatam.
So do any open micer come to you for advice like कि भैया ये कैसे करना है, ये कैसा जा रहा है, ये कैसा जा रहा है? तो होता होगा ऐसा कई बार कि ओपन माइकर्स आके मतलब सीनियर जो कॉमिक्स हैं
As in,
उनसे
we all
बात कर.
discuss, we all, जो comics open mic आते हैं में, whoever saying, they'll start with premises and we'll start telling each other what premises we are working on. Or when we watch a comic do on stage, when he comes off, we'll be like, hey, this is something you can see. That thing was really good, or that was horrible. Whatever we think about the set, we talk to each other. So then when comics start doing that more often, they start mingling more often and we start talking about jokes and sets and big specials that we watched together and all of that.
सही सही. तो ओपन माइकर्स के क्या क्या सवाल रहते हैं कि बेसिकली हर ओपन माइकर जो नेक्स्ट ओपन माइकर आता है, कोई कॉमन सवाल है जो हर बंदा पूछ ही रहा है, मतलब कोई भी सीनियर कॉमिक से?
No, some people are specifically based on that joke. Okay, did you think this is funny? या इसमें और क्या बोल सकता हूँ, या how do you write, or basically whatever you've been asking, similar to that, the questions come in the same way, like how do you write, or which comics do you like, or bomb होता है तो कैसा लगता है, and all of that. It's the same cycle.
सही.
With a different person, and you ask them and they tell you, and then generally ask what do you do, and like other than comedy, what are your interests, and you discover things that you like in common, come back and talk about jokes again. So there's no specific question as such. Some people ask ridiculous questions like, when can I shoot my first video, or when can should I move to Bombay?
अच्छा, why do you think that these questions are ridiculous? Like क्योंकि एक चीज है कि YouTube have given comics audience, their audience, कि उनका एक लाइव ऑडियंस में भी एक पोर्शन जो होता है वो YouTube से भी आता है. तो एक चीज ये भी है कि बहुत सारे जो YouTube पे वीडियोस अवेलेबल हैं उससे मेरे जैसे कुछ लोग या कोई और बंदे वो है कि स्टैंड अप करने के लिए भी इंस्पायर हो रहे हैं कि हम भी स्टैंड अप कर सकते हैं. और स्टैंड अप करने जाते हैं, तो उनके दिमाग में तो हमेशा एक ही चीज चलती है कि मेरा भी एक वीडियो होगा। तो ये सवाल जो है इसको कॉमिक्स, क्योंकि आप ही नहीं, काफी सारे लोग होते हैं जो ये बोलते हैं कि यार ये वीडियो के लिए मत करो, तो व्हाई डू यू से दैट?
Because it takes a while before you become comfortable on stage. Very first thing. Second thing, it takes a while before you find your voice on stage. And third thing is, stand-up is terrifying. It is scary. When you go up on stage and you tell your jokes and nobody laughs, the feeling and whatever you feel after that is horrible. So you try and take that with a stride and keep going until you get the next laugh. Now, getting a laugh in a live crowd is the best thing that I've experienced across my life. The best experience in my life is when I'm on stage and I said something and people laugh. Now, if your motivation is to make a video as fast as possible, then you have other plans other than stand up. Your plans are to become successful, become popular, write a series, or become an actor, and all of that. So, whatever is your idea, your interest and my interest don't match. My interest is to see today, if you're being a stand up comic, and 5 years later, if you're being a stand up comic, 5 years later, you should look at the first year guy and be like, I don't know what the hell I was talking about. And that's when you keep writing better and keep writing more and chasing the same high of making people laugh. So your focus shouldn't be on like when can I shoot my first special. Your focus should be on how do I get up on stage and do stand up. And the answer to that is get up on stage as often as you can. There's no other answer. There is no other answer. There is no other shortcut to making it big. You can become popular. You do a lot of other things that you want to do in front of your camera as an Instagram influencer or a YouTuber. You can do a lot of things. And if there are things that you find important for the world to know, you should pursue that. But for me, I don't think I'm good enough at anything that I share on camera. And making a crowd laugh is one thing that makes me the happiest. So I just want to keep doing that. So there is no, like, if I don't have a near future, when I don't see myself recording a video, what can I tell you about when you should record your video? I cannot tell you anything. There's no middle. So that's the whole thing. I don't have anything against people, but I have great conversations with comics who don't have to talk about stand-up comedy videos. They just talk about comedians and other jokes that they've discovered and books that they are writing on. I'm very curious to know how their brain functions and how they write. That is something that I'm more curious about.
सही.
That's it, bro.
अच्छा, लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द कॉमिक्सतान अगेन. अच्छा, कॉमिक्सतान में एक तो मेंटर्स तो थे ही, बहुत डिफरेंट तरह के मेंटर्स थे, बट देयर वर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ कॉमेडियंस देयर, लाइक पार्टिसिपेंट्स जो मतलब बात कर रहे हैं, आपस में रह रहे हैं. तो हाउ वाज दैट एक्सपीरियंस, लाइक टू गेट टू नो मोर कॉमेडियंस फ्रॉम डिफरेंट लाइक पार्ट ऑफ कंट्री? तो कैसा वो एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहता है?
It was great. I hung out with Shashwat Maheshwari, really nice guy, really funny guy. We discuss stand-up at length. We discuss all the interests that we have, like the interests that he has, and all the common comics that we look up to, and it was great to be amongst like a lot of comedians in a room together discussing jokes and watching other comedians interact with each other. It was great. It was also the first time I got seen on a platform, so a lot of people started watching me and started coming for shows after the show was taped. So it's been an incredible journey. I'm really glad that it happened, and it gave me enough popularity to stay back in Bangalore and still continue doing stand-up.
नाइस 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 नाइस। तो बहुत 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 ही बढ़िया जो है वो एक्सपीरियंस आपका रहा है, और बहुत सारी बातें जो है अब तक हम लोगों ने कर ली हैं, एंड इट्स बिन एन आवर। तो अब मुझे लगता है कि कुछ नेक्स्ट पार्ट के लिए बातें जो है वो छोड़ देनी चाहिए, और जब दोबारा से हम लोग एक और बार पॉडकास्ट के लिए बैठेंगे तब जो है वो और बातें करेंगे।
2025 में ना,
हम्म
2025 में दोबारा बात होगी शायद।
क्यों 2025 क्यों? ये मतलब गोल्डन नंबर कैसे आया?
ऐसे I like the year most. Like some of my jokes now, I just say the year 2025 just randomly. I don't know why.
2025
We've been wanting to do this podcast for like couple of months now, और अब जाके बात हुआ है। तो I was saying कि अगला podcast शायद 3 साल बाद ही हो पाएगा।
ये ये लिटरली भाई सच है, क्योंकि कब कब बात हुई थी हमारी? लास्ट ईयर बात हुई थी करीब अक्टूबर नवंबर में शायद, कि पॉडकास्ट करते हैं, और सब कुछ सॉर्ट हो गया, सब कुछ सही हो गया, बट वही है ना कि कभी कहीं कुछ चीजें वो है। मेन वही जो अभी तुम लोगों को पॉडकास्ट में जो पता चली है, दैट ही लव्स टू गेट ऑन स्टेज, दैट्स व्हाई ही डोंट गेट टू बी ऑन अ पॉडकास्ट। ये फैक्ट।
I also, like I said, कि मैं शहर के थोड़ा दूर रहता हूँ, तो by the time I leave the house, come get up on stage, go back, time is done. There is no time left for anything. I just play FIFA, have some food and sleep. So
चलो बढ़िया, एक छोटा
but
सा
I'm glad
रैपिड।
I got to do this.
हाँ
Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun talking to you. Thank you.
और ये चीज मेरे को सबसे अच्छी लगती है, जब कोई कॉमिक ये बोल के जाते हैं ना कि भाई मजा आया और दोबारा मिलेंगे, तो अब मेरे को दिल में सबसे सबसे ज्यादा बढ़िया तभी लगता है। और मेरे को वो कॉमिक्स ज्यादा बढ़िया लगते हैं जिनके कम पॉडकास्ट है, या जिन्होंने बहुत कम लोगों से बात करी है, तो उनके बारे में जानने को और बहुत ज्यादा कुछ मिलता है। जो मतलब पॉपुलर कॉमिक्स होते हैं जिनके बारे में मतलब बहुत सारी चीजें हैं पब्लिक डोमेन में, वो मतलब बात करना थोड़ा थोड़ा टफ रहता है। थोड़ा टफ इन द सेंस कि आप कुछ भी टॉपिक उठाओगे उसके बारे में उन्होंने 10 बार बात कर रखी होगी, तो वो चीज बहुत ज्यादा वो रहती है कि यार मैं बात किसके बारे में कर सकता हूँ। क्योंकि यार एक एक टाइम आता है जब आदमी बोर हो जाता है उन सब बातों से, और वो फैक्ट है, वो इसमें उनकी भी कोई गलती नहीं है, बट वही है ना कि थोड़ा टफ हो जाता है। बट खैर एक छोटा सा रैपिड फायर करते हैं भाई, फिर हम लोग निकलते हैं, और आई थिंक यू विल गेट ऑन स्टेज टुमारो, तो उसके लिए आपको काफी सारा जो है वो प्रिपरेशन जो है वो करनी होगी। तो सबसे पहले रैपिड फायर को, अच्छा रैपिड फायर अपना बहुत रैपिड नहीं होता है, टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं, अपना नॉट सो रैपिड फायर होता है। तो सबसे पहला सवाल, कहाँ आप जाना ज्यादा पसंद करोगे, अ कॉफी विद करण और फ्लाइट विद कुणाल कामरा?
Flight with Kunal.
सही सही सही। बहुत, आप उन कुछ परसेंटेज लोगों में से हो जिसने ये जवाब दिया, वरना हर किसी को कॉफी विद करण पे जाना है।
Yeah, but I'll have a nice conversation with Kunal on the flight. I played FIFA with him a couple of years ago. I'll probably somehow manage convince him to we'll play another game when we land.
सही सही
और उसके शो में मैं थोड़े पैसे भी मिल जाएंगे। कॉफी में करण में जाके क्या मिलेगा?
सही सही सही
They'll
सही।
be like, Shankar Chugani, what do you say? I have nothing to say. I'll leave.
I love get on stage. That's it. खत्म, कहानी खत्म, माइक स्टॉप। सही सही सही। अच्छा, who's your favorite news anchor? It's a trick question.
Favorite news anchor? Trick question, huh? Weird, bro. I think I don't know if I count Trevor Noah, but Trevor Noah is my favorite news anchor. As in, I know he's a
stand-up comedian.
But I think Faye D'Souza would be my favorite.
हाँ बढ़िया बढ़िया, Faye D'Souza सही 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 सही। हाँ क्योंकि आनंद भाई का भी यही कहना था कि शी ऑलवेज प्रेजेंट्स फैक्ट्स। अच्छा, अब ये वाली बात आई है तो एक चीज और वो बात कर रहे थे, विल स्मिथ का जो भी कांड हुआ है, विल स्मिथ का जो भी विल स्मिथ और क्रिस रॉक का जो भी कांड हुआ है, तो उसके
हाँ,
बारे में मतलब क्या ख्याल है? क्योंकि एक बंदे ने मतलब बैठ के पूरा उस पे ये किया है कि मतलब जोक नहीं ले पा रहा है एक बंदा।
पर
और
ये पूरा हफ्ता इसी बात को सब लोग इतना बोल चुके हैं, इतना बात कर चुके हैं, अब इसके ऊपर बात करके क्या फायदा? इट्स ऑलरेडी डन, यू आर
अच्छा,
नॉट
ये
गोइंग टू
अगर
प्रेजेंट
अगर ये
एनीथिंग न्यू।
इंडिया में कहीं, अगर ये इंडिया के किसी शो में हुआ होता, लाइक लिटरली एक बंदे ने जेन्युइनली ऐसा किया होता इस टाइम पे, तो आपको क्या लगता है मतलब क्या होता उसका?
आई थिंक सेम चीज होती होगी। आई थिंक देयर विल बी अ लिटिल मोर आउटरीच, बट इंडिया में इतना हैवी कॉन्टेक्स्ट शिफ्ट होता है कि इट डिपेंड्स ऑन कहाँ हुआ है, किसने किया है, किसके साथ हुआ है। इट्स जस्ट एंडलेस कॉमास ऑफ लेकिन, लेकिन, परंतु, किंतु, ऑल ऑफ दैट। तो
सही सही
कान से
सही सही सही। सो व्हाट्स योर फेवरेट डेस्टिनेशन टू बी समवेयर?
फेवरेट डेस्टिनेशन, right now it's Kunur because I've been there 4 times in the last year. I was a resident of Kunur for that. Now my parents have moved out, तो मुझे वापस कुनूर जाने में बहुत मजा आता है. Goa is nice. Uh, Even yesterday, Vizag also was a really nice place. Favorite destination, if I have to say one place, it'll be Jamaica. I visited Jamaica. It was awesome. Coffee in Jamaica is incredible. So Jamaica.
सही 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 सही। व्हाट्स योर फेवरेट फूड? खाने में क्या सबसे ज्यादा कभी भी हो
बिरयानी,
सकता है? अरे भाई साहब, मतलब
बिरयानी
सही।
और चाय.
चाय का तो मतलब पूरे पॉडकास्ट में हम जान ही चुके हैं कि चाय के कितने बड़े लवर हो आप, क्या मस्त चाय के चस्का है आप। सही सही सही। फेवरेट इंस्टाग्राम मॉडल?
I think Mark Norman.
सही सही सही। और फेवरेट एक्ट्रेस, इंडियन एक्ट्रेस है कोई?
Um, so many, man. I can't tell you one name. Nargis Fakri right now.
सही सही सही। तो भाई रैपिड फायर जो है वो यहीं पे हम लोग अभी थोड़ा समाप्त करते हैं, ठीक है? एक बहुत ही बोरिंग सा, एक बहुत ही बेकार सा रैपिड फायर है, एक बहुत ही बढ़िया सी कॉन्वर्सेशन के बाद हमने किया कि मतलब जब तक एकदम ही दिमाग पगला जाए, और मतलब इतने बोरिंग रैपिड फायर के बाद हम लोग चाहेंगे शंकर भाई हमारे लिए एक बार सब्सक्राइबर्स की अपील हो जाए।
All right, guys, watch, like, comment, and subscribe to the SM show because it's SM show. Couldn't you do it? I mean, please. I am raising my voice to tell you to subscribe, guy, next window, so that he can let me go. That's pretty much why I'm doing it. I have no other reason to do it. So if you subscribe to him, great. He's happy watching me do this and he lets me go, even better. All right, guys, take care. Thank you so much for
ओके।
watching the SM show. It was fun.
थैंक यू भाई, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग, एंड बहुत मजा आया आपके साथ बात करने के लिए। और मतलब ऐसे बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जिनके लिए सवाल नहीं लिखने पड़ते, मेरे को बहुत डर लग रहा था क्योंकि अचानक से आपने बोला और मैं प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं था, बट फिर भी बहुत अच्छी एक कॉन्वर्सेशन जो है वो हमारी निकल के आई और बहुत मजा आया। एंड होप यू ऑलवेज गेट अ चांस टू बी ऑन स्टेज every day in your life, and you won't get any day becoming like, एक भी दिन ऐसा ना जाए कि आपको स्टेज पे चढ़ने का मौका ना मिले। चलिए, ओके, थैंक यू भाई, थैंक
Thank
यू,
you so much, man. Thank you. Take care.
थैंक यू।